bad feeling floats about. No premonition. No, not even that. It's something much more. Opening up further, getting brighter. Ah, it's but a vision. A vision into the future. Like a dream, the haze obscures the details, but you is able to put the pieces together. There's going to be an orphanage, and inside of it, a chain of events will set Yu's life into their final hours. A supposed gift will turn out to be quite the opposite. And there's a girl who... she's dragging your unconscious body into a dark room. This girl is so confusing. One moment she's ending you, then she says to end her. The two of you seal yourself into a chamber of light. And anything beyond that is a haze upon hazes. Nothing else can be seen. But that is what's destined to come. Huh? Exclaims you. What is this music? This is supposed to be some sort of magical moment? I just basically got told I'm going to die. Stop with the music. You said, seemingly oblivious to the fact that it stopped playing a while ago. Yet here I am, talking of obliviousness, unbeknown to us that your future can talk. Oh, you got me, you. You have got me, says the future, in the present. I suck really bad. Actually, there are many things in store, and none of them are likable. The second you leave bed, your quiet life will get very, 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 very loud. Very. You are so screwed. You could not believe such unnecessarily cruel words coming out of the future. Not even a speck of hope. Everybody gets at least a speck. But not you. You, who has never had any like, dies clueless to what luck feels like. That's so unfair. All you's asking for is one chance. But what if I just stayed here? I could just avoid you until things get better. You believe they just blasted the future's logic into smithereens. If you just remains within the present, then surely they'll never need the future again. That's what they thought. But the future returns. Staying in one place just means you're left alone with nothing. Nothing but your thoughts. It began with the innkeeper waking up you from a weird action figure related dream. She took pity on Yu's homeless situation, but she couldn't provide for them forever. Her wallet wasn't keeping up. She drops you off at a nearby orphanage and cuts all contact from there on out. The orphanage seems to be a repurposed school where the kids take care of each other. Nice enough place. Your imaginary friend, the blue hedgehog, was there too. But everybody steers clear from Susie. One person who took immense interest in you. She drags you away from the others. Susie spouted strange things. You weren't paying attention half the time, inventing your own words for her to say. Something about protagonism, about being able to talk to the dead. She wished to show you more, so you follow her to a haunted point. Supposedly not the only one around. You were getting second and third thoughts, but it was too late. Susie tased you, using a tool that Athos lost a while ago, and forces you inside the darkness. There's seemingly no escape. Not long after, something dragged you into the bottom. Things felt different since then. You woke up in the land of the dead, or at least that's one of its nicknames. With a brand new pair of glowing eyes, a scar that the haunted point left you with, they signaled the gift, the ability to talk to ghosts from your bloodline. You met your grandpa. You couldn't look at him face on. Susie finds you and kills you. You don't know why. You don't even list why you came back from it alive. Like it didn't happen. You invincible? Susie said you were the protagonist, so that must mean she knew of your resurrectability, right? That's a real word, right? An arrogant prince, Noino, asks of much. He claims that the ghosts of you and Susie's mother have united to conquer the land you're in, and your gift makes you the only one that can even come close to stopping them. Through physical means. It sounds impossible. You was too old to care. Before you could embark on your quest, a strong yet sensitive man named Lancer shows up, demanding the right to use time. He was shady in that saying something considering the rest of the people used nearby. You and Susie swiftly chase him away. Susie left afterwards. That leaves you and Noino. Go and kill the mothers. Noino was harsh, coercing. Had a dead body lying around, says it was his father's murderer. It's no longer anything more but a sandbag to train on. One could say Noino was trying maybe a bit too hard to be mean. One could say that. Sipping out of the hideout, the field was a desolate wasteland. The aftermath of the mother spawned ghosts, devouring and captured most citizens that lived here. A placebo is one, but a coping mechanism of use imagination that gives them strength. This placebo was called Real Shield. Answer was encountered in the field maze. Fearing for safety, you hummed a series of songs they heard when they were younger. For comfort. Speaking of the opposite, Susie was spotted and rejoined the party. Before, she had no interest in helping. Now she does. What's with the inconsistency? The time philosopher was quite the head in the clouds person himself, and offered to sell a placebo to you, called the Time's Guard. All these ghosts were becoming too much. You imagined cuter ghosts, ones from an arcade game that Dad used to play at home. It made him feel better. Susie's strength was admirable, but her target choice was far from. Enemy or ally, her axe swung at whatever got close. Even Noino thought it crossed the line. You stared at from afar, wondering what part of any of this was real. The dog thing, that probably wasn't. Answer's ultimate reason for needing you was their ability to grant one wish to whoever desires it. Who wouldn't want that? Susie wouldn't. She defends you from Answer, calling you their friend. Yu's eyes perk up. Friend? He's a friend? No one ever said friend. Only she ever said friend. Following a battle against Lance's robotic contraption, according to what Noino saw, Susie made another erratic decision by betraying you and joining Lancer, a fellow robot in arms. You felt depressed. Noino was baffled by this. Susie leaving was something to be happy about. The forest was a designated hub for all Mother Spawn ghosts, a great source of power for all of them. The name may imply one thing, but in truth, you know from what creation the mana spawns are really from. The forest is a cheery place. Have the ghosts made it that way? Two placeos incoming, be ready to obtain. You encountered a treasure chest within the forest's dead end. Inside it was Bugfriend. Even insects were exterminated in this land. You could only imagine how one looks like. Safe bets were it looked like a friend. A red-hooded merchant was met. He was in the business of selling nocebos, negative-fueled thoughts of great risk. One of them is called Shamefinder. The merchant made it clear they knew Noino, but Noino couldn't recognize them with the hood on. That's as far as the conversation went. In his spare time, Lancer built an AI designed to assist him in his hobbies, quizmaking being one of them. However, he was too self-absorbed and failed to notice the AI's own wishes. She ran out of power before Lancer could redeem himself. He'll live with it for the rest of his life. You decided to shut themselves off from the world and entered one from a 90s RPG, their childhood game. Within they found the placebo, courage. Something they've been missing for many years. Noino waited hours before you finally came back to reality, and so they pressed on. You and Noino find the reality of the tame philosopher, the Smithy, spending their life fixing things up alongside 2 cat companions. Upon breaking an item, the smith here modifies it into the time-shifting placebo focus. You equips it and completely forgets to use it. After all that work too. The latter half of the forest is enveloped in darkness. The mood turns. The mother's home base draws near. Noino being nearby is not enough to calm Yu's nerves. So they pretend to have a dance-off against a silly-looking 3D animatronic. Took on the form of the innkeeper, the person who abandoned them. Suddenly, Noino's identity was put into question by Lancer and Susie, using his hidden journal. Turns out he's no prince. He's no royalty. The dead body he kept, he wasn't the one who killed it. Noino's personality broke apart. He had no way to defend himself. His entire being was just invalidated. At that moment, it really put it into perspective just how broken these people were. Noino lied, but why? Susie killed, but for what? Lancer wants a wish, but what kind? Everyone has a motive, but they refuse to share it. It was so frustrating. How could you possibly bring themselves to trust anyone? In the past, Noino tried summoning other heroes to assist him in defeating the mothers. He tried his best. He made a picnic. He put his whole support behind them. The heroes were cruel and rejected his plea. Noino didn't look or sound like a leader, or even like he'd be helpful. Noino couldn't understand. Later, Noino found a dead body with a nearby rope attached to a cliff. Likely a climbing accident. Noino thought of giving a proper burial. The mocking words of the heroes rang in his head. But he used this somehow to make himself look more threatening. Someone you can't say no to. Noino discarded his morality and assumed the role of a sociopathic strict ruler. But truthfully, he hated being that way. But it was not that bolstered his courage. It was his desire to recreate the world from his childhood that drove him forward. Upon receiving Noel's forgiveness, Noino realized maybe it's not too late to push such ideology. Thus, when Yu and Noino met Lancer and Susie the next time, Noino shed every vile part of himself and strengthened his determination in the name of avenging everyone who was lost to the mothers. He popped the champagne in the form of kicking Lancer's ass. Both their egos were cut in half that day. With Lancer gaining respect for Noino's ways, he and Susie tagged along to fight the mothers. Together, bonding ensued. Susie mentioned how she became a robot 7 months ago with Mary's support, her sister. She wasn't making much sense, but that was par for the course. Just when things were looking up, the entire gang was captured and imprisoned within the lodge's basement. The silver lining being that they were now in the mother's home base, at least. Susie, suspiciously so, was the only one who got out of her cell, and was faced with the decision to free Noino and Yu. Goes to Mary, Susie's sister, offered a different solution. Kill everyone now, so they won't do something stupid later. Susie found it hard to go against her word, not only mentally but physically. It brings to question just how much of Susie's actions she has self-control over, if any at all. Susie stumbles into Lancer and lies about Yu and Noino's whereabouts. Lancer brings up Dr. Alphys during the conversation, a scientist who created Lancer's robotic body. Susie knows Alphys, and hearing her name brought back memories of the day Alphys made her lose all ability to feel, when she was converted into a robot. With Mary standing right behind her and Susie remembering that awful day, she lost control of herself, and rather than killing Yu and Noino, she took out her killing desire on Lancer. But he wasn't going down without a few tricks up his sleeve. Despite Alphys' warnings, he assumed his superform became meta. Meanwhile, Yu and Noino were unaware of what was happening outside their cell, but Yu suspected something was wrong. They were validated in this thinking by finding a placebo on the wall named Bad Feeling. But was it really a placebo? It seemed reminiscent of the opposite. Oh well, it was useless anyway. Meta versus Susie. Meta's wish extended far beyond what he said earlier. He didn't just want to revive Maddie, his AI companion, or the robot race. He would use you to revive all of monster kind and gain fame and recognition as their savior. That way, he'd achieve his goal of the ultimate entertainment robot with a billion wide-range audience. Susie was engulfed by nihilism. Her life already was broken, and it was. Meta's words only strung more. She said to give up, but it's hard to say if those words were aimed at Lancer. Her axe was enough to destroy his overclocked body. His last thoughts were of Maddie. He was flawed, but deserved better. The mood changed. You, Susie, and Noino rode the elevator out of the prison without a word spoken. Susie was feeling nauseous. Once again, she was forced to kill. The gift controlled every facet of her, but for one brief moment she managed to overpower it and told you to end her life. To her, there seemed no other way to break free. You had problems emerging of their own. The frog relatives became more hostile. The surrounding environment became scarier. The jokes they could imagine before were getting more difficult to visualize. You became increasingly more willing to kill. The gift turned Susie into this. Now it'll do the same to you. Amidst tensions, the trio met a shape-shifting entity tasked with maintaining balance of worlds all over. Every name is the maintainer's name-taker. They looked at the complete mess that was your world and opted to play with your patience. After a long struggle, they were generous enough to give you, the placebo, every name. The trio entered the lodge, taller than on the outside, a world where you felt like a stowaway within a ship that was doing perfectly fine without you. It is the home of mother swans, who are destined to extract veins from their deceased prey in the name of appeasing the mothers. But would your mothers really do something like this? Susie and Yu's mental state was growing worse, leaving only Noina to try to keep them together. The lodge was there where the gift originated. Here where its side effects are strongest. Susie tried her hardest to slow down your events. You could only think about killing Susie, but a part of them felt something even more disturbing. Friendship. A wedding ceremony took place on the lodge's second floor, and one of the trio had no choice but to marry the wedding dress. Just sitting there. In return, they got the placebo wedding ring. On closer inspection, the wedding seemed like a nightgown. Used to be worn by the victims. 6th floor then, a blue gate blocked the trio's way. So clothed, yet so far. But then, Susie chose to touch the gate, and recognized her as the vessel. The vessel for one who rules over this lodge. The mothers? No, that's plural. Somebody else then. In any case, the found a survivor with a broken leg which you suddenly attacked. Thankfully, Noino helped them run away. He couldn't stand it no more. He couldn't trust you and Susie. He didn't know what the gift was doing to them, but it didn't make a difference. He felt he stood a better chance by himself, so left he did. You and Susie went further in, and found someone's personal room. Stray alcohol bottles, closet full of chalk, a diary, photo of Susie and a human friend. Susie had her own room in the lodge, spending a lot of time here. Susie was right there, but didn't say a word. She simply let you absorb all this information in. Looking out the balcony, Susie posed a simple question to you. What do you think of her? Any normal person would immediately roll out a giant scroll of complaints, but you seem like they genuinely care for her. Susie was taken aback. That is not what she expected to hear. In fact, that is not what she wanted to hear. Ultimately, Susie provoked you throughout the adventure, spreading and conflicting their feelings. Because 1, the gift would only purely allow her to be violent, and 2, if you hate her enough, they'll kill her. They're the only ones strong enough to do it, and thus Susie will be free of the gift, and the agonizing torture it put her through. But Susie made a mistake, calling you her friend back in the field. You spent nearly their whole life without friends, and was a few months away from dying of old age. Even though the gift was pressuring you into killing Susie, a part of them couldn't do it. You were stuck in a twisted mentality and would not let go of the one friend they got. They wouldn't have time to ponder these horrifying feelings. The mother's final phase has begun. They called on the power of shooting stars and bombarded the whole world to wipe out the rest of the living stragglers. The lodge was the only safe place now, and even that could be called anything but. You and Susie met face to face with the culprits, their mothers. Susie couldn't care less, planned to be wiped out, but you failed. On behalf of you, she tried to create an impossible situation that would force you to reset all the way back to the start. Suddenly, Anoina, fueled by irritation, intervened, starting his own battle. It was then that the mothers vanished, but they were mere mirages projected by the true evil controlling them by strings. Manos appears, creator of Mammospawns, the sacrifices of countless orphaned children who Susie unwillingly brought to it, the most hollow and disgusting form of evil that has ever have existed. The battle against Manos was all but smooth, with Noino, the party's one hope, becoming a casualty first. Yuso was then almost swallowed into the realm within Manos, but Susie dove in and rescued them, trading places in return. Now, Yu was the only living being left, and with Susie gone, they chose to fight with all their might. Taking advantage of the shooting stars that were destroying the world, you'll recall a time back when life felt normal, watching TV and playing games with the family. In the form of wishes, those memories came out as real power, to return things to the way they used to be. Yu's imagination was no longer only within their head. Manos was obliterated by the final wish, and the world was reshaped to one in which Noino lives as a true king. There were limits to how powerful this wish was, but you believed Noino would take care of the rest. You and Susie awakened next to Noino, and everything felt right one brief moment. But even with Manos gone, the effects of the gift lingered. You and Susie knew they would pose a significant threat to others if they remained here. After trying to explain to Noino what the gift really is, Noino understood they had no control over their actions, and it was all the more depressing that he couldn't help them in any way. After a final farewell, you and Susie left content, knowing that Noino will rebuild things back to normal. They sealed themselves within the nearby chamber and engaged in a final battle. One would die by the other's hand, and the other would remain trapped within this room forever. This battle would decide who gets the worst fate. As who won? We won't know, but I don't know either. The future is always one step ahead of us, and no one can predict its outcomes. Things might have ended up okay, or maybe not. The more you worry about, the more you'll forget that in the present, they're still fighting it out. To believe in the implication of death makes me wonder one thing. Why were we cursed to favor negativity far more strongly than that which makes us happy? The recap is about to loop. How many placebos have you touched so far? There are 9 in total. Use your acts and think of approximate placebo location within the recap's chronological order. Now here we go again. Good sick. Our thoughts. Whose thoughts? Other than that, it's really hard to provide a consistent description. Your mind is at peak clarity, so not paying attention to these thoughts is near unfeasible. You try to do the old la 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 routine, but it's not like thinking requires you to hear. Memory of metaphorical imprisonment. Bury your face into the real world's pillow. This may feel comfier, but it doesn't solve the actual problem on hand. Distant memory of campfire stories. You decide to take your ears off and hide them in a drawer. That is very creative. And also, why did you do that? Memory on the tip of your tongue. When you said thinking doesn't require you to hear, was I being too vague? Let me try to word this in a more understandable way then. No. Childhood memory of judging kids. No, I already have this one, so which one I'm missing? The wedding, right. Real Shield, Time Scar, Buck Friend, Shame Grinder, Focus, Bad Feeling, Every Name, Wedding Ring. Ah! There you go. Almost missed it by a hair. The real future is now in sight. You used Real Shield Placebo. Your defense has went up by 1,999. Wait a minute, how's this gonna help here? Time Scarred, slowly. Use Time Scarred Placebo. You'll have double the time to control your soul. Buck Friend. Use Buck Friend Placebo. A little friend will hang out with you. Yay! Donk. Chain Grinder, Risk Taker. You use Chain Grinder with Nocivo. Your HP decreased all the way to 1. This is a predicament. At least you managed to dodge every invisible instant death bullet so far. Focus. Use Focus. Shaky text. Be gone. Every day. Your soul and ego grew like a man-eating plant. Wedding ring, 2 for 1. Your partner will join you for this dance. Use Courage Placebo. Feel like you could beat up anyone, especially the person playing this. Oh my god, why do you keep using that one? Bad feeling cannot be used by itself. Choose which placebo to combine it with. My bad feeling with Reashield got Big Sword. Your strength went up by 9,999. On the bright side, maybe we'll find a pickle jar we'll get to open. Time's Ruiner. What a powerful name. Sounds like it'll give you lots of time during this turn. I lied. Bad feeling with Bug Brain got Cockroach. Where's this Cockroach hatred coming from? Anybody needs a cow's west? With Chain Grinder. You combined Bad Feeling with Chain Grinder and got Proud Breezer. Your HP increased by a lot, though one missing number aside. Yeah, that's gonna bother me. Swear to God, this whole part gets muted in the bot. I'm gonna lose my shit. And Courage. Got Cowardice. This is so scary. Ugh. Bad feeling and bad feeling? You combine bad feeling with itself and turn into the oxymoronic nocebo, good feeling. The good feeling thinks about combining bad feeling with any other placebos you find. Still, it made a funny sound, so... Bad feeling with Wedding Ring got Divorce Papers. Unbelievable. She took the TK Bongo drum controllers with her. Combined bad feeling with every name and got no name. You feel like you just achieved Nirvana. Focus. This could be it. This combination might get you out. Have you done everything else you wanted to? Combine bad feeling with focus. Together, they form the nocebo detach. You could feel an aura building up around you, wielding the power of detach. Many people sought this power. You're the only frog worthy of it. So, like a baseball pitcher, you wind up your arm behind you. Claim the most detached thing you could possibly think of. This is a meme mod, right? And then through. I could have sworn in one of my first playthroughs of the game, those signs used to say, I don't want this. None of us did. Probably another, random chance event. And also, sad that I couldn't use the, definitive edition of the soundtrack, because the song that would play, that would normally play there, would be Jay Dilla's Get a Hold. Get a Hold. It's honestly really, really good, but I can understand why it was not added in the alternative one, since that track was also used in a song by a tribe called Quest. That's just asking to get copyright claimed and muted and whatever the fuck else. Drifting, drifting back, suddenly just drifting back, suddenly just drifting back, suddenly just drifting back, suddenly just... give me a break, I am half falling asleep right now. Hello. They say that once you publish a work, it ceases to be yours. That everyone else's experience of the art matches the experience you had making it. I feel iffy about this way of thinking, but I suppose it's not something that can be easily prevented. In regards to that, however, I wanted to clear up at least one thing. I was not here to tell you how to live or feel about your life. I was here to metaphorize how I've lived mine. Now, understandably, you may think, why the heck would I care about your life? Well, you shouldn't. You're a stranger, right? Something like that could be rather parasocial. Kinda like a painting, not in the sense that it's well drawn, but some people just paint for themselves. Like self-indulgence. Life can be tragic, it's something I strongly focused on. But I don't treat that as a lesson or a moral, especially knowing how obvious it is. And I would never like to tell you that your life is hopeless. An awful present is set in stone, but the future remains a mystery. I may feel trapped now, and the world is telling me that I can't escape now. But I've still got my future, and future is mystery. I'll wait to see what it brings, and I'll hope it's a chance at a happier life. For now, however, I cannot not know what will happen next. To me, that is RIBBIT. Still, sorry if the story was bad and things were too confusing or what have you. Probably no secret I've winged like half of it. Seen a lot of positive feedback alongside plenty of criticism. I think all of it is valid, and all of it is something to learn from. Oh, except the part where I am unfunny. Everyone knows that's patently untrue. Anyway, this will be the last time I'll write for myself. It's sad, because still a good point of view to hear from. That is not your voice. Got dubbed over. The producers, they surmised my normal voice was not having much nostalgic value. Wow, fucked up. What's the lawsuit? Hey, I made it clear I'm limiting myself to only 3 a year. But I always thought you had kind of a radio voice, right? Golden voice, they call it, and nah, I really don't. It's deep, musky. What's not so golden about that? It's also monotone as hell, if you couldn't tell. When you're on TV, deep is not enough. You gotta have the energy to back it up, too. And they thought a bunch of nasal-like beep-boops rang energy. So what you got, at least my body was unfiltered. The first stage show starring Meta was a huge success. Sure Alphys can't give your voice more range? Alphys? Did someone say Alphys? Pronounce Alphys as— oh, don't you start that shit again. Well, I keep hearing about her like she's some science legend. Never gonna introduce me to this old coot? I could have sworn you met her. Remember our last Christmas party? No, that was— Hey, Matty boy, grab a drink for me, would ya? I will chug all of it in front of you. Anyway, we saw each other in passing. I don't mingle with nerds. You literally just talk about wanting an introduction. You're missing the point. I'm talking about having her build a cyborg mech for me. With rocket thrusters, lasers, and soda maker. Ah, the ulterior motive comes out. Got your soda right here. See? That's service. Now imagine if I could get that wherever I go at any point. From like a little slot in my forehead or something. I imagine Alphys would think of your idea as a total waste of time. And then she'd do it anyway, cause she's nuts. Nice. Looking forward to it. You ever think of Gundam mechs that pour soda onto their enemies? You know, since they're all made out of metal and... Nope. It's just you. Okay, glad to know I'm the insane one here. I'll get. Delivery! Well, if it isn't no well. What? Settling into your mail carrier job yet? Oh, it's fantastic. It's just like delivering presents the whole year round. By the way, here's the electricity bill. Cool fucking present. Anything for me? As a matter of fact, a love letter. It's not for me, if that's what you're asking. But, you should hold off on opening, because, whoever sent it at me wants to read it somewhere private. Read it on the toilet. Got it. Wow. So this is your house. I think got it upstairs. Wait, is this our house? Shut up. Yes, it is. Ah, so you're here too. A letter for you, sir. This better not be another let me smell you fan mail. No, that's tomorrow. This one's from a mutual. You gotta be kidding. Well, that's all I got. I'd love to stay and catch up, but this mail won't deliver itself. Yeah, we get it. Through rain and shine, and through pain in my spine. Susie, I'm glad to know you're okay. Yeah, you saw me eat a volleyball less than an hour ago. Why wouldn't I be okay? No reason, bye. What was that about? What'd you get? Bad news? It's from Maddie. She says she wants to talk. Huh. That could mean anything, the way you two left things off. She probably just wants to chastise the hell out of me. As disturbed as it is, I am probably better off not going. And what if you're wrong, huh? What if this is your one chance to make up your screw-ups? Knowing what you're doing right now will haunt you for the rest of your life. Lucy. Come on. Be a tough boy. Screw it. You really gave him a kick in the ass. If you're gonna run, at least run forward. Honestly, never thought she'd reach out to him again. Honestly, I don't even know who the hell Maddie is. Sensor created her, but then realized she was sentient until, well, you know that story better. But what do you think? Scale from 1 to 10, you think they'll make up? Future is mystery. The fuck does that mean? Swear to God, I'm gonna be so fucking mad if that part also gets muted. Ah, cause it's such a good song to end it on. It's... If you give me a second. Just in case it did get muted because some fucking goddammit. The instrumental for Childish Gambino's Yafet Kodo. Yafet Kodo. Yafet Kodo? No, not good at pronouncing things I don't know how to pronounce. Still. Fucking fantastic. Oh boy. Again, I definitely recommend, excuse me. I definitely recommend downloading it for yourself and reading through the notepad documents that document all the credits for the music used. A lot of Drag On Dragoon. Like a lot of it. God, it's been 5.5 hours. Oof. I don't know if my voice has kept up from the beginning of the stream, but gulping water. I hope it was still good, at least. good to listen to. I mean, God, I'm 3 steps away from just falling asleep. I'm definitely calling it a night. It was good. I enjoyed myself. Hmm. Yeah, I enjoy reading. I enjoy getting to use my voice. Oh God, I can't just close my eyes like that. I'm gonna fall asleep on my chair, and that is gonna be disastrous. Although now I have to think of what to play for next week. Wonder what I could choose. Probably again, as I mentioned so many times before, something not RPG like, as in something that does not contain so much freaking dialogue. I'll have to just double check my game lists. Good lord, I have a lot. Ugh, it's not. There's no time to look through it right now. I'll look through it later. Before next week. I hope you had a good time watching. I hope you had a good time listening. I hope you have a good time eating, and I hope you have a good rest of your night. Cause I know I'm not gonna be having a longer one. Cause I am just heading to bed. Bed. All that being said, good night.